You replay conversations in your head long after they're over. You rewrite texts you already sent. You imagine 5 different outcomes before making the smallest decision. From the outside, it looks like anxiety, like you're just too in your head. But what if overthinking isn't panic? What if it's protection? If you overthink, you're not broken. Your brain isn't malfunctioning. It's trying to keep you safe in the only way it knows how. Overthinking makes sense when you realize this. Your mind believes that if it can predict everything, it can prevent pain. It usually shows up in quiet moments, lying in bed, in the shower, during a pause in conversation. Your body is still, but your mind is scanning, replaying, editing, preparing. Psychologically, this is about control. The nervous system doesn't like uncertainty. For some people, uncertainty feels neutral. For others, it feels dangerous. If you grew up in environments where reactions were unpredictable, where moods shifted quickly, or where mistakes had consequences, your brain learned to stay 2 steps ahead. You became observant, hyper-aware, good at reading between the lines. Maybe as a child you learned that tone mattered more than words, or maybe at school one small embarrassment lingered for weeks. So now your brain runs simulations. What if they meant this? What if I offended them? It's not drama, it's pattern detection turned up too high. Overthinking also appears around decisions, even small ones. What to say, what to choose, whether to go. Underneath that is identity protection. If you choose wrong, what does that say about you? If someone reacts badly, what does that mean about your worth? So the mind tries to optimize, to calculate the safest move. You've probably been told you care too much, but caring deeply once helped you belong. It helped you adapt. It helped you stay included. And this is where it gets interesting. Overthinking isn't always about the fear of the future. Sometimes it's about rewriting the past. After a social interaction, your brain replays it like game footage, not to torture you, but to improve performance. It's the same mechanism that helps athletes review mistakes, except now it's aimed at your personality, your tone, your laugh. You're not just remembering, you're refining, trying to ensure next time goes smoother, trying to reduce the risk of rejection. In relationships, overthinking often connects to attachment. If closeness once felt inconsistent, your brain learned to monitor it carefully. A delayed reply feels like data. A short message feels like a signal. So you analyze, not because you're needy, but because connection matters to you. But here's the part nobody tells you. Overthinking can also be a form of emotional regulation. When you think, you don't have to feel. Thinking creates distance, structure, language. It turns a wave of emotion into a puzzle to solve, and puzzles feel safer than raw vulnerability. Your mind becomes an anchor, an familiar room, an old friend you retreat to when emotions get loud. While others distract themselves outwardly, you go inward. You process by dissecting. As you age, this behavior changes shape. In your teens, it might have sounded like self-criticism. In your 20s, it may feel like career paralysis or relationship analysis. Later, it can become quiet rumination about purpose, about meaning, about whether you chose the right life. The theme stays the same. The questions just mature. What once protected you socially might now slow you down professionally. What once kept you safe in unpredictable environments might now exhaust you in stable ones. But the intention behind it hasn't changed. Your brain is still trying to reduce chaos. In a world that moves fast, where expectations are high and attention is constant, overthinking creates predictability. It restores a sense of control. It lowers the risk of surprise. It's mental rehearsal, emotional armor. It's not weakness, it's vigilance that hasn't been told it can rest. So if you find yourself replaying, analyzing, anticipating, maybe pause the self-judgment. Overthinking isn't a flaw in your character. It's a strategy your mind developed when certainty felt scarce. And even if it feels heavy now, it began as something intelligent, something protective, something deeply human.